Have you ever wondered if your choices are really your own? We like to believe that every decision we make is a reflection of our true selves, that we are the authors of our own stories. But what if the freedom we feel is just an illusion, carefully crafted by forces we barely notice? We celebrate Harry Potter as the boy who chose to be brave, to fight, to stand up to evil. He's the hero who faced darkness when others would have run, the child who made the hard choices when it mattered most. Dumbledore said, "Kai, endandersto." It is our choices, Harry, that show what we truly are. Those words echo through the series, shaping how we see Harry and ourselves. But what if Harry's choices were never really his? What if from the very beginning, his path was set, his options limited, and his destiny manipulated by others? Look closer, and his journey seems less like a series of decisions, and more like a path laid out for him. Every fork in the road, every so-called choice, was surrounded by invisible walls, guiding him forward. Every event, every relationship, every bit of magic seemed to push him toward one inevitable outcome. It's as if the world itself was conspiring to shape him into something specific, something necessary. Was he ever truly in control? Or was he simply reacting, always a step behind the plans of others, never quite free to choose for himself? From the moment he was left on the Dursleys' doorstep, Harry was a symbol, not a boy. He was marked, not just by a scar, but by the expectations of an entire world. The boy who lived, an identity forced on him before he could speak. He never got to choose who he wanted to be. The world decided for him. Every action was measured against this legend. Every mistake, every triumph, was magnified by the spotlight he never asked for. He was always reacting to events set in motion before he was born. The past haunted him, shaping his present and his future. Was he choosing to be a hero, or just playing a part written for him? Was he acting out a script, or did he ever have the chance to improvise? This isn't about denying his bravery. Harry's courage was real, and his pain was genuine. Harry was courageous, but courage can be manipulated. Even the bravest heart can be steered, shaped, and used by those with a plan. The real question: was Harry the master of his destiny, or just a piece in a much larger game? Was he a player, or was he being played? Maybe he wasn't the hero who won the war. Maybe he was something else entirely. Maybe he was the perfect weapon forged and aimed by others. Every trial, every loss, every lesson was a hammer blow shaping him for a single purpose, designed for one final devastating purpose, not to live freely, but to be used at the crucial moment. Let's pull back the curtain and find out what was really at play in the story of Harry Potter, the boy who may never have had a real choice at all. It all starts with a prophecy, a few cryptic lines that sealed Harry's fate before he could walk. Before he even knew the world, his future was already being shaped by words written long ago, words that would echo through every chapter of his life. He was one of two boys, both born at the end of July, but Voldemort's attack locked him into a role he never chose. In that moment, a single decision set him apart, drawing a line between what could have been and what was forced upon him. The prophecy hung over every moment of his life, a silent shadow that followed him everywhere. Even in moments of peace, its weight was always there, shaping his fears and hopes. He didn't choose to be the chosen one. It was a label forced on him by the world, by the media, by everyone who needed a hero. The expectations were crushing, and the spotlight never faded. Dumbledore kept the full prophecy from Harry, feeding him just enough to keep him moving forward. The truth was always just out of reach, leaving Harry to piece together his own story from fragments and half-truths. Harry thought he was making choices, but he was following a path drawn by others. Every step he took seemed to have been mapped out, every decision nudged by forces beyond his control. The prophecy created a self-fulfilling loop. Voldemort acted, creating the enemy destined to defeat him. In trying to escape his fate, he only made it more certain, binding Harry and himself together. Harry grew up marked, different, unable to be just a kid. The scar was more than a wound. It was a constant reminder that he was set apart, that normal life was never an option. Every decision was made under the shadow of destiny. Less choice, more obligation, the weight of expectation pressed down on him, making every day feel like a test he never signed up for. The final line: neither can live while the other survives. Not a suggestion, but a death sentence. It was a promise that there would be no peace, no escape, until one of them was gone. No running, no negotiation, just a fight to the death. The prophecy demanded a final confrontation, and there was no way around it. The story wasn't about a boy choosing heroism, it was about a boy trapped by fate. Every attempt to break free only tightened the grip of destiny. Forced to see it through to the bitter end, Harry's journey was never truly his own. It was a path already written, and all he could do was walk it, step by step, until the story reached its inevitable conclusion. If the prophecy was the script, Dumbledore was the director, meticulously orchestrating every scene, every player, and every twist of fate. He was the architect behind the curtain, pulling strings with a gentle but unyielding hand, always several moves ahead. Dumbledore loved Harry, there's no doubt. But his affection was complicated. He also saw Harry as a vital piece in his grand strategy to defeat Voldemort. To Dumbledore, Harry was both a beloved child and a necessary weapon. Dumbledore controlled what Harry knew, carefully rationing information to keep him motivated, brave, and just uncertain enough to follow orders. He never let Harry see the full picture, only the parts that served the plan. He left Harry with the Dursleys, ensuring the boy would grow up craving love and acceptance, making him easier to guide, to mold, and to trust Dumbledore above all others. Dumbledore became the grandfather Harry never had, a figure of warmth and wisdom. This bond made it nearly impossible for Harry to question his mentor's motives or decisions. His lessons were never random. Each memory, each story about Voldemort's past, was a carefully chosen clue, shaping Harry's thinking, and preparing him for the final confrontation. Dumbledore armed Harry with just enough knowledge to serve the plan, but never enough to truly understand it or rebel against it. Most telling of all, Dumbledore knew about the Horcrux inside Harry, the piece of Voldemort's soul that made Harry a target. Yet he kept this devastating secret, believing it was necessary for the greater good. He raised Harry for one purpose: to die at the right moment, to walk willingly into danger when the time was right. Every word, every lesson, every twinkle in his eye was layered with this secret burden, a burden only Dumbledore could bear. In the end, he was leading a lamb to the slaughter, guiding Harry toward a fate he could never fully understand. Dumbledore's grand design required a sacrifice, one that would change the wizarding world forever. And so, he spent years grooming the perfect one, shaping Harry into both a hero and a martyr, all for the sake of victory. How do you train someone to die? You teach them to love, to protect, to sacrifice. Harry's greatest tests weren't about magic, they were about his willingness to give himself up for others. From year one, he was conditioned to see self-sacrifice as the ultimate act. Philosopher's Stone Crusade. He wins by wanting to protect, not to possess. Chamber of Secrets. He risks everything to save Ginny. Triwizard Tournament. He tries to save everyone, not just his friend. Each adventure reinforced, your life is less important than others. He was praised for his sacrificial instincts. Every loss, Sirius, Dumbledore, friends, hammered home the cost of war. By the time he walked into the Forbidden Forest, his decision felt inevitable. It wasn't a twist. It was the logical end of years of training. He'd been taught that the noblest thing was to lay down his life. The Horcrux, Voldemort's soul inside Harry, wasn't just a scar. It was a ticking time bomb. From the moment Dumbledore realized Harry's fate was sealed, he wasn't just the key to victory, he was a Horcrux that had to be destroyed. His life was forfeit. He was never just a boy, he was a container, a liability to the cause. Dumbledore's darkest secret, he was raising Harry to die at the right time. Every lesson, every bit of protection, was about keeping this final Horcrux safe until it could be destroyed. Harry's connection to Voldemort, Parseltongue, visions, were chains, not gifts. They made him the perfect weapon, but also the enemy. When Harry learned the truth, his walk to death wasn't just bravery, it was necessity. He accepted the role he was born to play. He was the Horcrux that had to be destroyed, a weapon that, to work, had to self-destruct. A weapon needs an army, and Harry's friends were more than companions. Ron and Hermione were his support, his strategists, his soldiers. Their loyalty was absolute, but their roles were defined by Harry's mission. Dumbledore encouraged their bond, knowing Harry needed them to succeed. Even his gifts to them were tools to keep the team together and on track. Dumbledore managed not just Harry, but his entire support crew. Dumbledore's army. Harry became a leader because the world needed a symbol. He inspired others, but also put them in danger. They fought for a boy destined to die, a truth hidden from them. Their devotion was real, but also instrumental to the plan. They sacrificed their youth for a mission built around Harry's destruction. They led their friend to his own sacrifice, never knowing the full truth. Loyal soldiers fighting for a cause whose true cost was hidden. For any plan to work, you need luck, or magic that bends the rules. The Elder Wand's allegiance was a web of accidents. Dumbledore's plan for the wand to die with him failed. Draco disarmed him, then Harry disarmed Draco. By chance, Harry became master of the Elder Wand without knowing it. The most powerful wand landed in his hands by accident. Was it destiny, or just a plot device to ensure victory? Harry's final win hinged on a magical technicality, not his own power. The climax. Harry walks into the forest, ready to die. The ultimate sacrifice, or the final programmed act of a weapon. He wasn't fighting, he was surrendering, delivering the Horcrux to be destroyed. At King's Cross, he's given a choice, but after years of conditioning, was it ever real? His return is key. By dying, he destroys the Horcrux and protects his friends. Voldemort is now mortal. Harry's death was a strategic move, not an end. The final duel? Not a duel at all. Harry explains Voldemort's failures. The Killing Curse rebounds. Harry doesn't cast a single offensive spell. He wins because of a chain of events set in motion by others. He was the catalyst, not the architect. His victory was the result of a complex plan, not just his own choices. Is Harry Potter a hero? Absolutely. But the real question is about agency. Harry's path was paved for him. Prophecy, manipulation, training for sacrifice. He was a hero, but also the perfect weapon, forged and aimed by others. His traits, courage, love, self-sacrifice, were ideal for destroying Voldemort. He was loved, but also used. His life was a means to an end, a necessary sacrifice for the greater good. The story is more than good versus evil. It's about a boy denied a normal life, a soldier, a symbol, a weapon in a war he didn't start. His victory was the culmination of a morally gray plan. In the end, Harry survived and found peace, but at a cost. He was the boy who lived, fought, and won, but also the boy who was chosen, guided, and used, and that makes his story not less magical but more human and more tragic.